Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Friday, May 10th, 2024. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Getting ready for a glorious weekend. Hope you get to do something fun, something relaxing, something exciting, entertaining, you know. See what we got here today. Couple more cuts, and I'm going to get right to it. Wow. Wheel of Fortune. Definitely some good luck here. Maybe something bigger than you thought to look forward to this weekend. I'm all like, hope you do something exciting. Hope you have fun. Maybe there's a pleasant surprise on the horizon. Yeah, like you may not even, you may be looking for it, but it may be more than what, like you probably don't even expect it to come in at this rate. Maybe have more of an expectation for the same old, same old. Yeah, the same old, nothing too exciting, nothing to write home about, write home to mom about. Just a typical weekend. No, maybe you don't have any plans and you just want to kind of take it easy, do some self-care, some nurturing. Now, of course, we know the Five of Pentacles has a much more dense connotation than just not expecting much. I actually, I'm being quite lighthearted about it for this, for the context of where I began to channel the energy. But it certainly, if nothing else, is giving a stark contrast between what you're used to and maybe even what you expect and what actually is not just a possibility, but a probability with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Something might be about to knock your socks off. And it's like half of you may not be expecting much because of what you either have lost or what, hasn't, a very anticlimactic life experience for the most part so far, maybe even a quite depressive one, unfortunately, at times. But there's part of you that is an expectation, that is looking for some reason to believe, to, for any sign of hope or a reason to, a reason to live? Shit, that's way too heavy. So this could be polarizing, because for some it may definitely be a matter of feeling quite down and out and depressed about life as it's been, and not feeling encouraged to look forward to any great possibility with the Wheel of Fortune. Maybe not feeling lucky at all or feeling favored at all. And then here is someone looking directly into that reality, almost an in expectation. But still, it's a small one though, with the Page of Swords. So still, I feel like the magnitude of this Wheel of Fortune is something that is going to be astounding or life-changing, no matter what the experience on either polarity. It's like, even if you had the expectation for something good to occur, you still couldn't have pegged it to be what it is, because your perspective has been limited. With the Seven of Cups, there's been a bit of a haze, or a veil over what you've been privy to know. And then on the other side, it's like what you've been privy to feel. Let me get some more, because I feel like this Five of Cups is way too dense to be as casual as I'm reading it. So it literally could, like I said, just be very polarizing energies, where maybe some are experiencing that lower frequency of the wheel, maybe because of how they resisted the. It's a matter of the choices, though, here, always with the Seven of Cups, because even with the seemingly limited variety of choices, you still had a responsibility to discern, and would be accountable for the outcome. And it could be a matter of the difference between someone that chose, that didn't choose the best of the least, and someone that may have, and that's why they can have a bit more of a confident expectation of the karmic disbursement, I guess. I don't know, a karmic outcome of this encounter. That makes a lot of sense. But let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Magician card. And then, wow, Three of Cups. Yes, how someone used their resources, what they had available, what they had on hand, what they knew. That's what makes all the difference as to whom is celebrating, who is celebrating, and who may not be. Queen of Cups, that's discernment right there. And that would be, yeah, I guess that would be particularly speaking to the let's see, what would that be from the Seven of Cups? That's either the energy that someone asserted on account of the engagement of that Seven of Cups energy, where it was a bit of an illusion, a haze, and someone looked within to discern again as to how, what cup aligned with their cup, or what was signature to their desires at a soul level, the closest you could possibly get. Or it's how someone evolved on account of how they encountered that experience. Maybe they didn't start off as the Queen of Cups, having the best discernment and being quite tapped into their intuition, and even being highly evolved in the expression and assertion of their self-love, or even compassion for self or beyond self, and they grew on account of that encounter. It could be something like that. Or just, it even could be, because this is almost like an awareness here, that experience is what revealed where someone is in all that regard. You know, it wasn't necessarily like it groomed it or afforded it, but it affirmed it. Yeah. So there was some level of this anyway, as the magician encountering the Seven of Cups, like, what's the best that I can do here, and how can I alchemize it in a very material sense to work for me and not against me. And I feel like that kind of unveiled the true nature of someone's mastery. If that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense with that. I know how I feel about it, but how to say it, it's more so about the awareness and affirmation than it is that it necessarily like made someone into a Queen of Cups. I feel like you kind of had to already have that energy in you, at least a little bit, to discern in the first place, you know. But something about that engagement magnified this expression. There's another way I want to say that, but let's keep going. That's kind of backwards, so. It was kind of a struggle. Should that be reverse? Yeah, I guess the Hangman is kind of like a it depends kind of card. It's not necessarily a yes or a no. And especially given that the Hangman itself is about stillness and immobility to some degree. But it could be speaking to the fact that there may be some information that is necessary to be revealed. Back to that affirmation and even confirmation energy, like there's something more that it's like, what did I just hear? I think I just heard like, you may want to sit down for this. So maybe some like very important information, which the Queen of Cups is sitting down, you know, so maybe there's something intuitively, psychically, or on an emotional level of some emotional intellect that is yet to be communicated, that is the enlightening to move this passage forward. And it seems like it's a matter of like, you're going to need this for your journey. And I'm feeling like, given I said all that I said about the Queen of Cups, it's like maybe perhaps there's still some revelation about that energy, whether it be you or whomever it resonates with, that you are still not aware of and affirmed in, as to just, yes, okay, as to just how significant your emotional intelligence has been and is, like how powerful it is. You may only be seeing yourself through a certain limited scope or lens, but there's something that wants to, with Jupiter energy, it wants to broaden your perspective of either how much of an impression that mastery of yours has made on your circumstances up until this point, so that you can be clear on, like almost operating even more of an asserted confidence. Yeah, with the Three of Cups, literally like magnetize that times 3. Like you think, your little nudges and intuitive impressions are just coincidence, or even the way that you love, like your intention to be compassionate and caring and kind and graceful. It's like, oh, well, that's just who I am. That's, it's just regular shit. That's just the nature of me. Little did you know, it's everything. Like it's literally everything. And perhaps maybe somebody's not quite as aware of that and enlightened of that as they could be, to really not only solidify this passage forward into whatever, promised land or paradise is awaiting, but it's like a it's like spirit wants to send that energy on. I keep hearing like a bon voyage, like before you go, I need you to know. And it might not be physically, it could just be energetically before you take off into this new, this destined path, before whatever this big thing. It could be the revelation itself that is the big thing, where you have lower expectations for whatever it could possibly be, whatever the news may be, the revelation. And it's like the difference between being the heir of a dynasty, perhaps in a very material sense, right? Like you're the heiress to, some enterprise, right? To finding out that you are the heir of a throne. Like your actual royalty. That's the range that I'm sensing here with the Wheel of Fortune in the middle. It's like, no, I don't think you quite get it. Like, you're that, you are that, but then so much more. And it's like, you need to know how much more, because if you just thinking you're just some socialite or heir, an heir to some enterprise that's more or less like fleeting or contingent upon, consumerism or capitalism or the market as it stands, something very tangible and almost vulnerable to some degree, to actually being the heir of a throne or a dynasty or some royal bloodline. Okay, now I hear it. The royal bloodline of sorts, where you could be rich or poor, you can't erase that lineage. You can't erase that history, the wealth of that history. It's like it literally like is in your veins almost. It's like ingrained in you, so that it doesn't matter if you acquire a certain material wealth with that or not. It's something that it's how do I say it? It's like it's irrevocable. It's I don't know. It's not so delicate and not so vulnerable to the material world, especially with Jupiter here. It's something bigger than that. It's universal. It may even be celestial. Okay, so this may be quite spiritual of a message that I'm not even giving life to. But that's what I'm sensing. It's like somebody needs to really be more self-aware and affirmed, much more enlightened at a higher frequency of their identity. And they're either about to get that, or the stillness has been on account of someone needing to be like almost breaking through that illusion of the Seven of Cups, right? It's like, to even do that, like I said before, you kind of had to have a little bit of the Queen of Cups in you anyway. But you may be thinking that, oh, that's just what, I'm just doing what would need to be done to make a choice. You know, everybody has a choice. Everybody is faced with a circumstance that's a bit unclear, a little hazy, or where your options don't really look all that great. But, you know, we do what we do. But it's like, yeah, but but the way that you discern, though, I don't think you understand. Your options were set up for you to make a poor decision, to make a bad choice, or to make a choice that would leave you in despair no matter what you chose. But somehow you ended up alchemizing the best of all the choices, with the Magician having the cup here, and then magnifying the choices with the Three of Cups, and finding some type of peace and contentment with what should have been a very shitty situation, is what I'm hearing. That what I'm feeling more than anything. And it's like, if you have been more fixated on the material forwarding or advancement that can be associated with the Six of Swords to some degree, it's like, that's coming for sure. But there's something you need to know about how you got here in the first place, so that whatever this journey looks like, whatever the next chapter or the next destination is, you don't go on that mission thinking that you just some old regular schmegular Queen of Cups. Like, you just like everybody else for the most part. And like, when I'm saying this, it's not a matter of like elitism for generally speaking, but it's whatever it is that's unique to you as the Magician and magnified as the Wheel of Fortune. You need to be well aware of it, because it's not regular. Somebody else might have their brand of that special thing that is out of this world, but what your thing is makes a difference for you. And it just as important as it is for you to be well aware of it and assert it, affirmed so that you can be assertive in it, is as important as it is for anyone to know what their thing is too. Because like the Wheel of Fortune is like universal destiny. It's written type of energy, Akashic record type of energy, you know. It is a matter of your celestial bloodline, your celestial heritage, universal come from and going to type of energy. And if you're not quite aware of that, like I said, you could get mixed up in the crowd to just think like, oh, I'm just doing what everybody else does. And so therefore, that's the energy that you project and proceed with. But you kind of need to go a little bit bigger than that. You've earned the right to, and it's somehow imperative for you to, maybe even to make this voyage safely, or to perhaps just make it easier, you know? To make it easier or more enjoyable. Maybe that. You kind of like how I started with the humdrum of, I hope you have a good weekend. Do I even believe that? You know, I have that wish and hope for you, but do I even have that expectation for myself when I reflect on how I said it? You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I definitely hope you have a good time, but as for me, I don't have any plans. You know, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe you don't think so, but the universe might have plans for you, you know? And here's the Page of Cups. It's a message, and I get the sense like you may not know how to really receive it or digest it. It may feel a bit strange in delivery. And this could be intuitive with all this cup energy. It could be something that is downloaded or uploaded, however you feel comfortable saying it, that is like, what did I just hear? Like even just now, a little earlier when I said, what did I just hear? Like, you may want to sit down for this. Why do I need to sit down for this? It's because you about to have an enlightening that is going to knock your socks off, to really bring you back to a fundamental, maybe only elementary, maybe also elementary foundation of yourself, and you almost seeing yourself in a state that either isn't familiar or is just like a fish in a cup, like just, what am I looking at here? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? What am I intuitively channeling? I don't know. Something's happening here. I don't know. But the Page of Cups doesn't give me like the funny vibes that it typically does. Even with the Page of Swords, usually I could see that as like almost, the spying energy and all that type of stuff. It's something here about the level of expectation that you may have to receive and how that expectation is about to be exceeded beyond measure. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles here. And it's been a delayed delivery because it seems like it's been a bit of a process to put you in a position where you would be willing and able to receive and accept the truth, especially about yourself, because you're used to experiencing yourself, a lot of times, like, we're so unaware of who we truly are. Even when we do our shadow work, our deep diving and affirmations in the mirror, it's still like you're still having a spiritual experience in a human vessel. And there's so much that comes along with the interference of that direct channeling that sometimes you still can't quite get to the root of yourself with. It's like meditation, it's like no matter how hard you try, unless you're a master at it, which of course the Queen of Cups may be, but it still comes with a great deal of intention and focus just to stay in a space of thinking about nothing, of like, or being with one thought, one mantra, just being open-hearted and open-minded. There's so much that comes at you in a 15-minute span, 5 minutes of just peace and quiet, that it's virtually impossible to kind of stay with yourself in that frequency uninterrupted. Even on a grander scale, when we're talking about universe, we're talking about the world, we're talking about just day-to-day life interactions, it's like a lot of the lens that we see ourselves through is often reflective through other people or through circumstances, or even in how we react and respond to our surroundings and experiences. Something about this here is given that it's taken a long time for this golden nugget to get through, but it's like, this is like it's given to me like a special escort, it's given like somebody that's been very careful with the delivery. Not this ain't FedEx. You ever seen the memes of people that do the differences between Amazon, UPS, and FedEx? Like, usually Amazon is like, even though sometimes it's not the case, because most of the times they don't even knock. They'll just put your package on the doorstep. and, you know, have a nice day. But they usually won't throw it. UPS, my experience is that they'll probably put it on your doorstep, and if they knock, they sound like the damn police. FedEx, your knock comes from how they throw the package up against the wall, up against the door. Like, oh shoot, what was that? Oh, that was FedEx. That was my package. This is something that's been handled with care and consideration and temperance and time, and a lot of care has been taken in the delivery of this pentacle. Whatever this pentacle is, it's pretty important for you. It's like you need it. You need to know it. You need to have it. It could be energy, could be money, could be material resource. It could be even, you know, to streamline your attention. Back to what I was saying about awareness and assertion, like pentacles can be attention. That you may feel your focus is on one thing, maybe even physical movement itself, or perhaps even feeling like there's still something that you need to evolve from in some way, shape, or form. And it's like something's coming through to tell you as evidence, this is materialized evidence of your arrival, or at least your readiness for a voyage. Maybe even the support or the resource for the voyage itself, but it feels more energetic than anything, like some type of solid. When you think of the Knight of Pentacles, it's something that is dependable, it's reliable, it's not fleeting, it's taken a long time to get here from care and consideration and dedication. So when it arrives, you really don't have to question it, and you can count on it being, you know, something you can build with or build on. Hella sirens. Let's see what else we got. Wow, King of Cups. I can let her mess up a suit, don't I? I know y'all be like, she's looking at the cards. How she don't know? Because my mind is already racing from what I just said to what I'm about to say, and I'm listening, and child, sometimes I'm lucky I say anything right when it comes to these cards. But the King of Wands is that proactive, creative energy, especially up under the Magician. That's some extra firepower. Yeah, okay. So just as I was saying, it's like, this is the confidence piece here, the affirmation, so that you can go forth boldly in your creativity now. Not all meek and mild, like, what? You know, you may not even see yourself as the Queen of Cups. You may think you a baby cup over here with the page, like, oh, I don't know much. And of course, ain't nothing wrong with some level of, I don't want to say ignorance, but just a willingness to be teachable, okay? So I'm not giving off the energy that you should be all up in this game as if you have nothing to learn and nothing to gain from education or enlightenment. Obviously not, but there are certain lessons and experiences that you've gained a great deal of not only knowledge but wisdom from, and even what's the right way to say it, like even gained a great deal of facility. It's not facility. What am I trying to say? It's a word. talent, yes, but it's speaking to how not only how wise and how discerning and maybe intuitive and intelligent you may be, but how you know how you then use that energy to create, to manifest, to bring life to something in a tangible form with the King of Wands. What is the word I'm looking for? Oh, I can't hear it. It's making me mad. And the Eight of Cups here. Yeah, there's a mentality that on account of whatever this enlightenment may be, that's going to allow you, and at that point, once you have this confidence and once you are clear about your this is like the King of Wands is a posture of damn near arrogance when it comes to being well affirmed and who they are, what they can do, their potential, their not just their potential, but their I can't think of this word, but there's not much to be desired in the way of confidence to just really engage or encounter any opportunity, whether it be to alchemize something that already is, to transform something into a different but hopefully better expression with the King of Wands, since it is more masterful energy. We're not talking about the Knight of Wands per se, but it's doing it without fear, without inhibition, and with hella drive and passion behind it, like almost an unyielding passion that when it's kind of like invested in a thing, it is the force fuel. It's like having the first embodying the confidence to set out, to engage in endeavor, or to even believe that to have even the audacity to believe for whatever the ambition may be first, before you even put any kinetic energy behind it. Like, that's what I'm getting here, if it's making sense, in terms of like something that you're needing to know to kind of give you that fuel and that drive, where it's an unyielding courage, like assured of your deliverance, or your it's gonna make me so mad when I'm done with this and I think of the word, or when I'm watching back and I'm like, that. But it's something here about what it truly takes to be a creator. And maybe even connecting that emotional energy to the realization of the potency of it. There it is, the emotional energy, your love energy, your spiritual nature first, to this kinetic energy. So again, you're working, instead of you working as sheerly the Queen of Cups, you realize that it's that very power that has kind of opened the way for you to mobilize this force here. To know, like, without a shadow of a doubt, that anything that you put your spirit behind has the capability to materialize in a highly impactful way. That still feels so small from what I'm feeling, though, with the Magician and the King of Wands. And with the Eight of Cups, it's like this is what you'll need. This information, this revelation, this download, whatever it is that's coming, you know, it even could be a message, like an external message of affirmation or confirmation itself that you, as I said, like don't even know how to fully receive, maybe because of the delivery of it, as I was joking about FedEx and stuff, like the delivery of it, maybe even the person that is bringing the message is it's astounding or surprising or just something that you just wouldn't have seen coming. Like you wouldn't have imagined that this package of information would have come from the Page of Cups. You could have expected it to come some other way, maybe even some grandiose type of way. And it could be the difference between like your son or child saying something, you know, profound, and you're like, oh snap, really? Wow. And it just completely resonates with your soul. You know, like, I can't believe he just really spoke to my soul like that. But it was all you needed to hear to be affirmed in this audacity of courage and fearlessness here at this point, to the point where you'll take on any challenge or set out, not any, because there's still discernment here with the King of Wands at this level, but that whatever you do choose to encounter, or even whatever may encounter you or present itself to you, you do so without like a second thought, without, what is the word? It's a boost in your self-esteem and security. It's not just, it's courage, yes, and it, you know, that's the meat and potatoes of it. But it's something about your self-esteem. And yeah, on a greater scheme, it's something being healed in regards to mended with your self-esteem through this affirmation, through this revelation, so that there, it's like it's unshakable. It can't be shifted, especially externally. And not only not only is your self-esteem at such a high level and a high frequency that you even have the courage to walk away from things that don't serve that as well. Whereas before, bam, here, 5 of Cups, this could be a matter of low self-esteem. Whereas before, you may have settled for much less because you didn't have expectation for much in return, because you didn't really see the worthiness, you know, in totality for what you should have an expectation for, or what you should have feel almost entitled to. Again, the difference between just feeling like you're on one level of affluence to like a level that only a singular percentage of the world could ever even dream or aspire to experience. Royalty, you know, like how many of us will ever get to say that I'm of some royal bloodline, and it be like not just a spiritual expression, which is, you know, sustainable in itself, but there's some, you know, like this is major, you know. But if you don't know that, you imagine going your whole life and not knowing you were of royal blood or of some affluent bloodline, and you've just been accepting and expecting what you're due, you know, as a regular person. There's something that needs to be shifted so that you have a proactive anticipation, almost a demand and command. Thank you, Spirit. This is a slow burn. It must be something important. That you almost have, like, you almost command a certain frequency of satisfaction here with the King of Wands. It's like, it's not any old exchange will do, not any old thing will even arouse you to the occasion of waving that wand or getting up off the throne, God forbid, or asserting your energy and your power and your force. It's like it's certain. It has to be at a certain caliber to even command your attention. Back to attention. Damn. Let alone to what's the right word, to host your presence. Otherwise, it's like, I got to go. This is beneath me type of energy, but not in a diabolical way, just like straight up, like, yeah, just straight up. Once you know, you can't unknow what caliber of creativity you're operating on. And, it would be a bit of a smack in the face to the universe to some degree to operate in any depreciated frequency at that point. You can't help what you don't know. You haven't known. You would have no way to know, because perhaps there's been a great deal of interference, as I said before, for you to be able to know. And now that you know, you can't unknow. And so now there's a different level of responsibility and accountability to operate at that higher frequency of creativity. This is deeper than what I'm saying. I feel it, but I don't think I'll make it out if I try to really tap it. Yeah, like, like I might get sucked down this rabbit hole. Here is a regeneration. This is literally like a past dynasty type of situation, because this is like past life energy with the Six of Cups. You don't even know what you are a descendant of. It's like being adopted or something, or the history, the knowledge of your, especially with low self. Now I'm reading that as low self-esteem. It's like, practically speaking, how even Black Americans in this country, many of them have really no idea the lineage that they descend from. Just, for some in this lifetime, in this breath of life, but even beyond that, just a few generations back, maybe even a century ago, can it be traceable as to where you come from? And there's many different reasons why that is. A lot of it has been interference to not have a connection to your past, so that you couldn't have a present identity to project any type of prominent future. We know for a fact that it's definitely been intentional for some cultures in particular. But just that small thing. But when we're talking about of a celestial origin or some spiritual nature or affluence, where the history has been so lost or distorted by interference and in injections into that historical legacy, or interjections where people have kind of like inserted themselves as a part of the lineage, and they're not even really a derivative of it, or organic to it, or have inserted themselves to interfere with the knowledge of it, and of course the continued passing down of that knowledge and information. Is like, you very well could be the American legacy of a native bloodline, or even an African bloodline, or of royal descent, or something like that. It's not even that far-fetched. That's the crazy part, especially not for some cultures of color in this country, that just a few generations westernized or colonized in any regard, you could lose your entire identity, you know? One kid being adopted or losing both parents, and you know, like anything could happen for you just to lose that link and that connection to who you truly are. And I feel like somehow it's being resurged, and it's important that it is, because it's somehow like a missing link. It's like a proactive and protective force, you know, like a sword and a shield for you in some way, shape, or form, to know some high level, some truth of your high level identity. To perhaps even put an end to what I see as this with the Six of Cups sometimes is the perpetuation of a codependent, maybe even distorted or toxic cycle, to restore it back to its original form. Because many of us have been co-creating and even procreating out of ignorance, not really knowing much about ourselves beyond the mirror, you know, so we can't very well pass that legacy down properly, let alone live it out ourselves, you know. So it's like something's being restored here to what it was originated to be and what it's destined to evolve into, like picking up where it left off type of vibe and advancing forward, evolving forward. That's interesting. And then the Seven of Wands here is just protect whatever it is that you come to some knowledge of or affirmation of, that you can stand firm on that without threat of resistance, even if it projects itself or, you know, rears its head, that whatever it is that's being divulged to you as truth is something that you can stand firmly upon. And don't let nobody tell you no different, try to sway you or object or challenge you in a way that is impure, because any of these energies that would try to challenge you may not be privy, or maybe they are. Maybe they know to some degree and it's been kept from you. I don't know. That's a thing too, especially in the Black community. We love keeping secrets, don't we? But there's information that would want to be challenged from your possession. But at the point of the King of Wands, like, fear no man. Whatever has been disseminated to you is for you. And I would actually protect it to the point where that also gives me vibes of just being careful of what you share anyway. Let people think they know what you know or what your next move is, or your motivation or whatever. Like, you can let them feel as empowered as they want to without you having to feel obligated to confirm or deny anything. Okay. And that's a confirmation right there. Yep, you don't owe anybody anything, no explanations, no affirmations. This is that upgrade of energy as I'm speaking of, and the purification of it too, all at once. And it may be coming through you. Maybe you're the keeper of that information, of that advanced knowledge, and you'll be able to discern with this like super frequency of intuition and discernment here as to how it gets to be shared, if it gets to be shared, with whom it needs to be shared with. It might be a matter of you taking it and running with it, and it be something that secures the bloodline, even those that, you know, may or may not be deserving of it to some degree, but you you get to take accountability and responsibility to what is ordained to you, what has been anointed for you to carry, even being like almost filtered through your being. This is the blood in its purest form. It's like with the Queen of Cups, it's her having almost an external reflection, like looking at that cup that sometimes I call the Holy Grail, as if it's something that exists outside of her. But it's reflective though. So that's the point that I'm making here. Something of a high level, high caliber that you may have distanced yourself from, and even in terms of what is you or what you're privy to or privileged to or have access to, whatever the case may be, there's been too much distance put between you and something that is purely of you to some degree. Maybe to every degree, to a large degree. This Ace of Cups, like you are somehow like the essence of this fountain as well. Like it doesn't even flow in a material sense from its spiritual origins without you being like almost the filter or the filtration system in the physical form, if you get me. Like consider this as like some fountain in heaven, right? But it's stocked up in heaven without you being here to almost be like a hose, you know, and that's HOSE, by the way, you know. And sometimes we, you know, generally speaking, we underestimate the power of our own presence, forsaking it for the source, when it's kind of one and the same, or one doesn't even truly get to be expressed in this realm without the presence of you in the physical form, you know. Otherwise it may exist somewhere else and in some other, as some other material, or not. It could just be spiritual, intangible, but you are what makes it real somehow, if that makes sense. And I feel like that in a very primitive way, that's easy for us to miss with the conditioning that we have to always be like almost externally dependent and codependent, and to deflect our importance and our relevance and, you know, our uniqueness and there's something more that I want to give it here, but a deflection of our magnificence to some degree to some other fate or some other origin, even unto God itself. When it's like, well, what do you think you are the incarnation of? Certainly, what do you think you were created for if you can't believe that big for yourself, you know? Just to be little toy soldiers to, you know, to play around with. So it's something big here. And it's about to come. Oh my God. The Lovers. Talk about the highest frequency of identity here. This came first. And this is amazing. Especially off that Lovers card, because this is like it's speaking to the truth that's, you know, what's the right phrase? Like the truth that's sometimes hard to believe. or the truth hurts, some type of energy like that, where it could be so radical of a revelation that it may be painful to accept. And how that gets to look is it could be a matter of, for some, which is why you just got to purify your force field to receive it all as love, ultimately, with the Ace of Cups. Just let it just cleanse your palate for however the spirit wants to move through you, around you, to you, however this expression pours out. Let it be not this, you know what I mean? Like, send you into a spiral, like, well, damn, how long did, because what could send a human person, a human into fits, consider like realize now having a revelation that you've been royalty all this time and you had certain accesses and privileges that have been kept from you all this time, right? That could kind of send you into a regressive response, to be angry or agitated when you consider you've been in this energy of the Five of Cups for as long as you have lived. And you mean to tell me I had privilege to, I was privy to a privileged life all this time and it was kept from me? My attention was diverted from it. It was stolen. It was manipulated. Whatever the interference may have been, it absolutely could invoke a Three of Swords type of reaction, at least at first, which is probably why, as I said, you know, you may want to sit down for this, because it seems kind of like bittersweet. It's like in one part, it's the news that you never knew you even wanted to hear, you know, or that you even needed to hear, because who expects to be told that you're of a royal bloodline, and not just to be told, but to be affirmed of it. So there's some material evidence. It's not like, oh yeah, you know, you're a descendant of a Zulu prince, you know what I mean? But you have really no connection to it. It's like something here is going to draw a clear connection that can't be denied. And it could be at least astounding to some degree that it causes a bit of shock. But if you can revere it as something that is good for you and that is almost like giving you a second chance, like fuck what you missed, what you didn't get, how much time has passed, what you thought should have been owed to you, or what you didn't know about yourself, or where you came from, or who's who and what's what, and you know, all of that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to get you to where you are now, as much as it does to be connected or reconnected with your truth in a way that empowers you forward. The Judgment card, like all of that kind of like dissipates in almost like death energy to some degree. It really doesn't matter but so much, because without all of that, you couldn't have come to this place here of judgment to get a regenerative chance at life. You know, like you couldn't, and perhaps you needed to evolve in a way that would put you in a position to close out these cycles. Otherwise, you would have perpetuated the same old toxicity and trauma that you came from as well. But because of what you went through, again, this goes back to, you had to have that Queen of Cups in you to face that Seven of Cups in the way that you did. That was unique to what is the norm, or what would be a regular response. You had that in you. Here it is. This is the proof that it was always there, and now it's been magnified by way of that experience to see not only who you've been, but how who you've been has changed the trajectory of perhaps your entire bloodline, or at least your legacy. Anything from you on forward will not have the same fate with the Wheel of Fortune as it was dictated or imposed to be for those before you. that's a great victory in itself, one to be celebrated. And anything that you allow yourself to be heartbroken by would kind of pale, like here, it would really like dampen, no pun intended, with the Ace of Cups, but it would like dampen the mood of what is like a resurrective moment, you know, a bigger than life, unheard of, you know, super occurrence that you get to partake in whatever way this makes sense to you, you know. But the fact that you get to be the receptor of it and also to express it is the point of satisfaction and celebration. So for whatever it is, it may be hard to receive at first and accept at first, but I guess the point is to try to take it in stride and allow yourself to see the bigger picture on the horizon, what you're moving into. Well, don't let it hold you back from this paradise crossover promised land energy and regress your whole situation back into a place that's stuck at this, you know, this place of resentment with the Three of Swords, where you're angry, you're unforgiving, you're mad, you're thinking about, you know, how much time is lost or what you've lost or who should have told you what or what, you know. It's just like, all right, now what? That's what the judgment, there will be judgment for everything that has interfered with the progression of evolution as it was supposed to be, but also make provision that everything may be, for the most part, even where it may have appeared to be interference, that even that has worked out for your good in the end. So where folks should have minded their business or made it their business to tell the truth or dispersed whatever it was that was owed to you, or even if it's down to information or, you know, the truth, whatever it was, maybe it should have turned out that way, or things would have worked out differently if it had. But maybe you wouldn't have turned out the way that you have here if it hadn't gone the way that it did. So either way, there has to be a faith and a trust that, you know, everything is working in divine time. And yeah, here's the Two of Wands, what you've been the decision that you've been willing to commit to in your actions. This is how you choose even to receive this information, I would say. Back to the enlightenment. Is it that? What's that? Exactly. Is it a distraction, some torment, or is it a wish fulfillment? Like I said, literally, like the enlightenment that you never even knew you needed. It's up to you how you decide to receive whatever this is, whatever I'm talking about. I feel like it exists on many different levels, which is probably why I couldn't really pinpoint it specifically. But whatever this point of enlightenment and revelation is, first of all, you've called it in, okay? You energetically, you have called it in, and it's up to you. You have the power as the King of Wands, as I was struggling to get to, you know, to discern how it gets to be divested into your energetic force field. Is it going to be something that boosts your self-esteem, enhances it, expands it, and even expands, you know, the horizon of your possibilities? Or will you allow it to keep you still and stuck in a cycle or in a singular place of waiting on something else, you know, like missing your opportunity here to be liberated in a profound way? Like, here's your Chariot, and you say, oh no, I'll take the next one. I don't like how that one looks. You know, it's your choice. As it was with the Seven of Cups, it's your choice on how you get to receive this spark of passion. it may be quite stimulating one way or another. You know, you may not know how to feel about it or how to even respond, but what you decide on, what you land on, will make the difference on how it materializes, as the King of Wands does, to create from that frequency. Something will be created. It's just impossible for it not to be, even if you just, you know, decide to sit still and not use that energy at all. That's, as they say, like, everything is a choice. Even choosing not to choose is a choice. So even that is within your power. So how will you take possession of it and project it is what it comes down to. I certainly have faith that you'll do what's best. And the Queen of Cups energy, magnified as the Ace of Cups, affirmed as the Ace of Cups, you'll know exactly how to receive that information, how to digest it, and then how to divulge it, if you shall, however that gets to be. You have the discernment of the universe in your corner, and the support, you know, in spirit and in truth. So you got it. Whatever it is, you got it. You can handle it, and you know what to do. So happy Friday again. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.